Okay, so in this video, we're going to go over the types of triangles that you'll come across in geometry. And there's quite a few of them, actually. There's 8 different kinds. So let's just go through them one at a time, okay? Probably one of the easiest types of triangles is one where all 3 sides are equal to one another. And that's called an equilateral triangle. Okay. And again, all 3 sides have to be equal, and that you can distinguish. You can tell that by these little marks here. If they're the same, that means it's the same quantity or length. All right. Then you have a triangle that looks a little bit like this, and the way you can tell this one is by these kind of marks, where 2 of the sides are at least congruent, right? And this one is called an isosceles triangle. That's I-S-O-S-C-E-L-E-S. And again, remember, an isosceles triangle has at least 2 congruent sides. So I guess the question becomes then, is an equilateral triangle an isosceles triangle? And the answer is absolutely yes, it is. All right? So an equilateral triangle has 3 congruent sides. Okay? So in a way, an isosceles triangle is like a subset of equilateral triangles. Then you have this kind of a triangle here. Let's see if I can do this correctly. There we go. And this one has no congruent sides. Okay, no congruent sides. So I'm not going to put any of these little marks here. Actually, and this would be called a scalene triangle. Okay. So let's move to the next one. Now, you can also classify triangles according to their angles. Okay, so here's something we call an acute triangle. Let me just get this real quickly. And again, this is called an acute triangle. And it's acute triangle because each one of the angles, okay, is less than 90 degrees. Where 3 angles less than 90 degrees. Okay, so each of these would be less than. An equilateral triangle, as you can probably guess, okay, has 3 equal angles. And there's actually something called the base angle theorem that you can prove that. So if 2 angles are congruent, that means that their opposite sides are congruent as well. So this side would be congruent to this side. If you looked at these 2, that means this side's congruent to that side, and all of a sudden we've covered everything, right? So what you want to say here is that's got 3 congruent angles. Okay. Next one. Let me go ahead and draw it first. You might be able to guess what it is. This is called a right triangle, right? Now, a right triangle has this little symbol in here. That means that one of the angles, one angle equals 90 degrees. And you always denote that by putting this little square box there. Okay? I said there were 8, but actually there's only 7 triangles we're going to go through. And here's the last one. So let's do this real quickly. There we go. And this one, you're looking at this particular angle here, and it's called an obtuse triangle. An obtuse triangle has one angle that's greater than 90 degrees. So in an acute triangle, you have to have 3 angles that are less than 90 degrees, but in an obtuse one, you only need 1 angle that's greater than 90. Okay, and that's the difference. Okay, so those are the 7 different triangles that you should be able to do. These 4 down here are classified according to their angles. So the classification looks at the angles part. These 3 up here, the classification is done by the sides. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you.